Recognize and say aloud. Capital A, small a. A for aeroplane. A for axe. A for apple. A for apricot. A for ankle. A for ant. Recognize and say aloud. Capital B, small b. B for boat. B for butterfly. B for boy. B for bee. B for bus. B for bag. Recognize and say aloud. C, capital C, small c. C for caterpillar. Cap. Cat. Cake. Car. Camel. Recognize and say aloud. D, capital D, small d. D for dog. Door. Doctor. Deer. Duck. Dinosaur. Recognize and say aloud. E, capital E, small e. E for elephant. Eagle. Elbow. Ear. Egg. Engine. Recognize and say aloud.
Capital F, small f. F is for fan. F is for flower. F is for frog. F is for fish. F is for football. F is for frog.
Recognize and say aloud.
Capital G, small g. G is for grapes. G is for giraffe. G is for glass. G is for goat. G is for girl. G is for guitar.
Recognize and say aloud.
Capital H, small h. H is for helicopter. H is for hut. H is for horse. H is for hammer. H is for hanger. H is for hen.
Recognize and say aloud.
Capital I, small I. I is for igloo. I is for insects. I is for injection. I is for inkpot. I is for ill.
Recognize and say aloud.
Capital J, small j. J is for joker. J is for jet. J is for jackal. J is for jellyfish. J is for jar.
Recognize and say aloud.
Capital K, small k. K is for kettle. K is for king. K is for kiwi. K is for key. K is for kite. K is for kangaroo.
Recognize and say aloud.
Capital L, small l. L is for lion. L is for ladder. L is for lemon. L is for ladybird. L is for lily. L is for lamb.
Recognize and say aloud.
Capital M, small m. M is for monkey. M is for motorcycle. M is for mango. M is for mushroom. M is for moon. M is for mouse.
Recognize and say aloud.
Capital N, small n. N is for nest. N is for neck. N is for net. N is for nose. N is for newspaper. N is for nail cutter.
Recognize and say aloud.
Capital O, small o. O is for owl. O is for oven. O is for ostrich. O is for octopus. O is for orange. O is for onion.
Recognize and say aloud.
Capital P, small p. P is for piano. P is for parrot. P is for pan. P is for panda. P is for penguin. P is for pen.
Recognize and say aloud.
Capital Q, small q. Q is for quilt. Q is for quiet. Q is for question mark. Q is for queen. Q is for quill. Q is for Q.
Recognize and say aloud.
Capital R, small r. R is for rainbow. R is for rope. R is for red. R is for ribbon. R is for radish. R is for rose.
Recognize and say aloud.
Capital S, small s. S is for sun. S is for sandwich. S is for socks. S is for salad. S is for spoon. S is for soldier.
Recognize and say aloud.
Capital T, small t. T is for tomato. T is for teacher. T is for train. T is for telephone. T is for triangle. T is for tiger.
Recognize and say aloud.
Capital U, small u. U is for unicorn. U is for umpire. U is for under. U is for urn. U is for umbrella. U is for ox.
Recognize and say aloud.
Capital V, small v. V is for van. V is for volleyball. V is for violin. V is for vegetables. V is for vase. V is for vulture.
Recognize and say aloud.
Capital W, small w. W is for whale. W is for worm. W is for watermelon. W is for window. W is for water. W is for wheel.
Recognize and say aloud.
Capital X, small x. X is for X-ray. X is for Xerox. X is for Xerox. X is for xylophone. X is for Xmas tree.
Recognize and say aloud.
Capital Y, small y. Y is for yarn. Y is for yo-yo. Y is for yellow. Y is for yogurt. Y is for yacht.
Recognize and say aloud.
Capital Z, small z. Z is for zebra. Z is for zip. Z is for zoo. Z is for zinnia. Z is for zebra crossing. Z is for zero.